Welcome into the final episode this season of the Replies, where we break down the most viral moments each week of the Big Ten football season. I'm Emily Eamon, your host, with former Buckeye Joshua Perry and former Husker Kenny Bell. Guys, it was rivalry week, and we all kind of came out hanging our heads pretty low, but we're going to start off with the game. So much anticipation and buildup, and it definitely delivered as Harbaugh got his first win over the Buckeyes and is headed to Indy. I'm going to start it off with Kenny, so JP, you can take a moment to collect yourself. KB, what'd you take away from this one?
Yeah, that was very friendly. Honestly, I took away good for Coach Harbaugh and that staff. It was a huge win for the situation that they were in this year, for them to go out there and put a stamp on the end of this season, punch their ticket to Indy and get their shot at that Final Four. I'm excited for the Wolverines, and I'm excited to see what they can do in Indianapolis. We're going to be there this weekend, and we've got Iowa and Michigan, and I'm very excited. That's a new trend in Indy, and I'm excited to watch that one.
JP, how are you?
I'm not well. Let me tell you right now, I am not doing well. But a big tip of the cap to the Wolverines, because they earned it. You could tell that they were the more physical team out there, a team that really wanted to get a win in that game. And Kenny, you mentioned the Michigan Wolverines and that coaching staff. They got a young staff. They got some new guys out there. They all brought their A game all season long and really built up to it. But let me say this to Michigan fans, is I feel bad in retrospect now, because I've been on social media for all of 5 days reading all the nasty things you guys get to say to us Buckeyes now. And I'm apologizing for all the nasty things we said to you for all the years, because it hurts, okay? It hurts. My feelings are hurt. I'm not well, okay? I am not well.
It's funny, JP, because you actually sang Michigan's praises like throughout the entire season.
I did.
Like low key, you really did. You had mentioned that they're a very complete football team. Now, you weren't saying they were world beaters and they were just going to drag the Buckeyes, nothing like that. But you had paid their respects throughout the entire season, and I think that came really to fruition this Saturday, man.
No, I mean, they're a really good football team, and that's the long and short of it. Is that team is a very, very good football team. They do all the things it takes to win football games.
Next up, the Axe stayed in Minneapolis with somewhat of an upset as Minnesota took down Wisconsin, ending their hopes headed to the Big Ten championship game. And I think my favorite part of this was the fact that they blasted Jump Around after they won. JP, I know you're always here for the pettiness, and this is why we love rivalries, as long as you're on the right side of them.
The pettiness is something I'm always here for. We heard that at the end of the game, kind of on the broadcast, and we're sitting back in studio like, man, did they really just do that? Like, a little smile goes across your face, because that's how deep this kind of stuff runs. But when you get down to the analysis of this game, one of the questions that we asked as a studio crew, doing some of the shows on Saturday, was if either team can eliminate the run, is there a quarterback in this game that can win the game on their arm? And Graham Mertz had to throw the ball 38 times. That's not exactly where he wants to live. Tanner Morgan threw the ball with less attempts, but he was a little bit more explosive. And I think that was really a difference in the game there.
Yeah, I think you made a perfect point on that quarterback situation. I think Graham got a little bit out of his comfort zone, while Tanner kind of got to sit back and rely on things that he's been comfortable with that play action run game, even with Mo Ibrahim out. So I think it was a fun game to watch. Listening to that jump around at the end, God, I don't know what's with this crew, but we love being petty, so we love seeing it out of the rest of the conference. It was great to see a good old-fashioned Big Ten kind of slugfest between Minnesota and Wisconsin. And honestly, I thought we were all kind of gophers last Saturday. I think a lot of us wanted to see Iowa head to Indy, and a lot of us wanted to see Michigan get in, JP. So we're looking forward to it.
I didn't even know why you had to bring that up.
Just slide it in there just because he tried to. Up next in Nebraska, Iowa, the Hawkeyes are down 21-9, and then this blocked punt turned Iowa touchdown in the third set off kind of a chain of events with a safety and then a key interception, leading to the Hawkeyes coming out on top. KB, what happened?
Man, I'm not even going to pretend to be frustrated or really sad. We're going to put this one to bed. We're going to put 2021 behind us. This was really the epitome of both team seasons, right? I feel like Iowa found ways to win football games all year long, and the Huskers found ways to lose games all year long. And it really got to that fourth quarter. The Huskers were looking great through three quarters, And then that blocked punt happened, and it seemed like there was a deflation amongst the Huskers. And when you got a team that starts to kind of pack it in when the going gets tough, that's rough to see, and that's something that we haven't really seen out of the Huskers. But it really seemed like the wind got taken out of them. I'm really looking for them to bounce back next year because they had those Hawkeyes by the skin of their teeth, man. I thought they had them in Lincoln. It's a great football game.
You know, Kenny, I can appreciate the fact that you're moving on and that you've compartmentalized all of these emotions, this anger, this sadness, this hate that starts to come out when things don't go right. And I wish that was a quality I possess because, like I said, I'm not okay this week. But the fact of the matter is, man, you could watch the tide turn in that game. And what you really saw from Nebraska after that blocked punt was, oh my gosh, it's happening again. Right. And that's truly where they lost it in that game. And you give all the credit to Iowa because it's been defense and it's been special teams for them all year long that has made the plays that have swung in the games where they needed it. And that was the formula for them again on Saturday.
Yeah, it was exactly like I said, it was the epitome, I think, of both team seasons all wrapped up in 15 minutes of football.
There's something just special about snowy November football, and Michigan State seemed to love it as they took down Penn State. JP, what's the reality of playing inside a snow globe?
Well, it's cold. It's a cold reality. I can tell you that right now. We played a game in 2014 in Minnesota, and the snow was coming down. It was covering the field. And we were able to put in a call to the GM of the Vikings so they could put heated benches on our sideline because it's, Rick Spielman, his brother's Chris Spielman, who's an Ohio State great. And so we got the benches. Had we not had the benches, I'm 100% sure we would have lost that game because we were playing a top 25 ranked Minnesota team in their elements. One of our defensive coaches was wearing a short sleeve polo the whole game because #tough guys. It is absolutely wild, but I think there's a part of all of us as football players that can throw it back to our childhood, where you would just go outside and you'd see the snow and all the neighborhood kids would congregate and you just run around and have a great time. And that's what it feels like at the end of the day.
Yeah, hands down my favorite weather to play in. It's not even close. Most fun. I think it's a huge advantage for the offense, obviously changing direction as a defender, and an offender gets to know where they're running. I think it's a big advantage, but by far my favorite weather to play in. We played in snow, a complete snow game. It was coming down pretty hard at Penn State 2013. Returned to kickoff to the house that game, JP. Yeah, but one of my
only one moving fast out there in the snow, huh?
Exactly. It's hard to cut and move when there's 3 inches of ice on the bottom of your cleats, but yeah, by far my favorite weather. I think you made a perfect analogy. Just being a kid again, going out there and playing the kids game for a king's salary.
Last up, it's officially bowl season. Well, KB, not for us, but congrats to the other 9 teams that will go bowling this winter. Guys, give me your final thoughts on rivalry week. KB, starting with you.
Golly, you really gut punched me there with the hey, but not for us. Remember that, KB. But no, congratulations to all 9 Big Ten teams. It'll be a blast. No matter what bowl game you go to, it's fun to get out there and get to play some football over the holiday seasons. Fingers crossed for Michigan. Bring home a national title for us, baby. And what a season it was. Guys, for us to endure the season that our football programs endured and we could have a smile and have some fun, I can't wait for 2022.
I'll tell you right now, my thoughts, just reflecting back, this is a very good year for the Big Ten, simply because we saw some of the teams rise up to their highest heights, where you saw Iowa that was ranked at number 2 once upon a time. We saw Penn State as a top 5 team. You get Michigan now that is competing for a Big Ten championship, which is something that hasn't happened in a very long time for that program. You've got a team like Purdue that you see starting to rise up. Michigan State made a hell of a bounce back this year. This is what we enjoy as people who consume Big Ten football, but I also think that when the Big Ten is this competitive, it's great for football nationally, because football really matters around here, and the brands in the Big Ten absolutely matter to people nationwide. And so it's just been really fun to watch. And Kenny, I'm with you. As much as I hate to say it, I'm a guy who likes to root for the team that beat my team. And so I don't have a rooting interest in the Big Ten championship, but when it comes to college football playoff aspirations, it's nice to have a team sitting up there in the top 4. And I'd love to see what happens out there.
Thank you so much for tuning into the last episode this season of The Replies. It feels like it flew by. We can't thank you enough for all the support and listening to us go on and on about messed up jerseys, insane hairdos, and of course, the game that puts a smile on all our faces. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next year.